Good. All right, I'll call this listening session to order on Monday, January 8th. Thanks for being here. We have quorum. We have, Sally, you were the only one who signed up ahead of time. Others looking to speak? Andy, you looking to speak at all or?
Not right now, no.
Not right now, Andy? No, okay. Sally, come on forward, please. And as always, you know the drill with, we break up the time among the speakers, but with any speaker, we limit them to 10 minutes. So
Okay, so I'm
identify yourself officially for the record. So we,
Sally Ness.
thank you.
I'm here for a response to my request from September 18, 2023 listening session for an internal affairs investigation. I sent the mayor an email November 9th, 2023 asking for a response. I did not receive a response. Again, I had detectives at my house twice. There was an incident report and there was a request for prosecution submitted to the county. When court documents state the county attorney and the city both acknowledge Ness' intended conduct is not prescribed by the harassment statute because she is not tracking or monitoring a particular individual. At a previous listening session, after I stated I have detectives at my house and this should be addressed, the city attorney inaccurately commented, "We have already litigated this matter." It has not been litigated. When I previously requested an internal affairs investigation, I received a response that inaccurately stated it has been determined through subsequent civil proceedings that there was no misconduct on the part of any officers. It was not determined that there was no misconduct. It was determined that the officers were entitled to qualified immunity. Again, I am here for a response to my request from September 18th, 2023 listening session for an internal affairs investigation.
And Sally, I think you know that both of these matters, these matters have gone through both the civil litigation and the internal affairs process. And the allegations in both processes, I assume didn't meet what you were looking to achieve here based on what your comments are. But basically the matter is closed. It has gone through both the civil litigation and the internal affairs process within our police department.
I sued the city because you had created an unconstitutional city code restricting taking pictures in the park. I also sued because there was a state statute that was unconstitutional. By the time I finally got to court, the state statute was legislated to change it to be constitutional. What had happened is I had gone to the courts and asked for a, drawing a blank on it, to allow me to continue to take pictures while this was being settled. What is it called again?
Injunction, right?
Yes,
You mean, yeah.
that was what went through a court. The rest wasn't litigated. What had happened is I had asked for that and they denied me. And the reason they denied me is they said, because I could step back into the street. Very frustrating because no, I couldn't step back into the street. If you recall, I was in a neighbor's driveway, sitting in my car in a neighbor's driveway. Police came up to my car. The neighbor came out and said she has permission to be there. So no, I can't just step back into the street. I was in the street taking pictures and the police would come up to me. So no, that part was very frustrating. So I was waiting for it to go through and the courts wouldn't hear it and then went to appealed, and the appellate court didn't hear the case. Instead, they just looked at the part that was unconstitutional and determined it was unconstitutional. It wasn't litigated. We didn't hear the case. You say there's an internal affairs investigation. Why didn't someone tell me it? I have not seen it. Are you telling me that our city finds it appropriate to go to someone's house when they have done nothing wrong? As the court documents state, I had done nothing wrong. So are you, Mayor, saying that our city finds it appropriate for police to go to someone's house, tell them that they are considering charging a person with a felony when there isn't even a case? There's no law that had been broken. And you're telling me that our city has gone through an internal investigation and finds that okay?
Sally, your request was to have an internal investigation regarding. My response is that it's gone through both the civil litigation and the internal affairs investigative process, and it was not found in your favor.
And, okay, you guys created an unconstitutional city code. That was what the courts decided. It was determined you had created an unconstitutional city code. When it came to the payment, what didn't go in my favor was the fact that my attorneys wanted to make sure that you guys wouldn't come out and charge me with something during the period of time that the state statute was unconstitutional. They wanted to make sure that at no time after this had gone over, you guys go, let's charge her. And the reason my attorneys didn't get paid was because the city said we couldn't charge her. She didn't do anything wrong. There's no reason to charge her. They were arguing for something and we couldn't charge her anyway. So here I am saying there needs to be an internal affairs investigation, because why was this in court? Why were police at my house twice? Why did the city ask the county to prosecute me? What had I done that the city had asked to prosecute me when I hadn't done nothing that fit a crime? There was no reason to. So you're saying that's okay, that it's okay that we have a city that will go and ask somebody to prosecute somebody even though there was no crime committed?
Sally, we're traveling familiar ground here.
No.
Ask a question, it's answered, not to your liking. So then a number of other questions come up. The questions you have asked, the question you asked me to answer, I answered. And
You said that there's been an internal affairs investigation.
yes, I did.
So I'm going to do a data request. I'm going to do a data request, and I'm going to get documents, and I should get them within 10 days because it pertains to me. So you're telling me right now, everybody in here is hearing this. He's saying there has been an investigation. And so I will do a data request. And again, if it pertains to a person, it should come in 10 days. You're saying that there will be documents that say, we checked and yes, we find it okay that, you know, we ask a county to prosecute somebody even though they don't fit I
will look to both the city manager and our city attorney. These may not be available through a Data Practices Act because they are personnel files.
Mr.
Am I
Mayor,
correct?
If I may, the response is that it's gone through the process for determination of whether an internal affairs investigation was appropriate or not. That was done by the police department.
And the response that I received from the commander was that it had been, it has been determined through subsequent civil proceedings that there was no misconduct on the part of any officers.
And that's the answer.
And that, okay, so then I will do the data request where you guys will highlight where in the civil proceedings, it says there was no misconduct, because the civil proceedings says that they were immunity. They were entitled to qualified immunity. There at no time said that their behavior was, you know, looked at and made a determination. And it wouldn't make sense that the civil proceedings would have done that, because again, I had requested a injunction,
Mr. Mayor, to your point,
which was denied.
request, the police department responded to the request. There isn't another answer. That's the
Mr.
answer.
Ness has asked me the question. I have responded. There was an answer. There isn't another answer. And again, we seem to be traveling familiar ground here, Sally.
No, it's not familiar ground. It's, well, familiar in the fact that you're not answering it. Again, it wasn't litigated civilly because again, it was asking for an injunction. You don't litigate during an injunction. You either get an injunction or you don't. You either, you know, they allow me to continue to take pictures. They say, sure, you know, that city code will be on hold until we get through this case. That was denied again, because they said I could step back into the street, which I couldn't. So a question, at what point do you think this civil case had determined these officer had done nothing? Because that is the only time it was heard, was that they were brought up. The information talking about anything that had to do with an officer's was during the injunction. That was it. Then the next time was at the, when we're at the, trying to blank on it. When we requested the appeal and the attorneys each have like 15 minutes max to talk about, and you're trying to tell me that it was litigated when you attorneys have 15 minutes? And I'll have to say, very distressing to hear the attorneys for the city say something like
10 minutes are up.
okay.
Anyone additional wishing to speak to the council tonight during the listening session? No? All right, we have nobody else on the agenda, nobody else showing up. Council, I'd look for a motion to adjourn our listening session tonight. Moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn our listening session. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries 6-0. Thank you very much. We'll see you downstairs.